these elections tend to be winner-takes-it-all affairs. And a lot of resources are associated with political power, economic resources. The institutional framework for regulating theft and bad behavior in general is rather weak. So the temptation to do everything to get power is very strong, including rigging and using violence.
So who are the instigators? Who are behind the violence, you would say?
Most oftenly it's politicians at various levels who finance and mobilize crowds to conduct acts of electoral violence. However, those are not the only actors. Violence in electoral context may also be spontaneous in terms of riots conducted by supporters of different political parties. A third type of actor related to this is, of course, the security forces of government.
In Guinea in 2008, a peaceful protest against the military government escalated into a terribly violent situation where many hundreds of civilians were killed. And that repressive attitude from the security forces then generated more violence around the country as a reaction. So there's definitely a tendency for violence to escalate, and I would say often a tendency for the security forces or other actors within the political elite that instigate the violence.
Politics is about winner takes it all, and people in general are frustrated and suspicious about the electoral process. What can we do? What should be done to prevent violence?
I think that the most important reason that people are frustrated is a lack of trust in the democratic process. But I would say that the more logistical challenges of holding elections where not only the regions around the capital, for example, are provided with voting booths and the infrastructure is an important aspect. Elections require infrastructure, elections require funding in order to register voters, in order to assure that everyone has access to voting booths, identity cards, etc. So elections are expensive. So one aspect is to assure that African countries can afford to hold trustworthy elections.
How can we prevent this make or break thing of elections in Africa? What could be done?
Well, at one level, of course, reducing the stakes of the elections. That could be done in several ways. Normally, the high stakes are related to concentration of power. The other way, of course, is to strengthen the institutions. If you have countries with long histories of impunity, that political leaders can do practically anything and get away with it. What are the risks well, the risks are seen to be very small to behave bad. So temptation is great, risks are few, and you believe that the other side will do it. So why shouldn't you?